And Shachris tomorrow morning, Misham 7:30, we have a Shanis B'Yolam, 7:30 Shachris. The very beautiful Yontif, tugs at your heart. The beautiful Yontif of Sukkot is slowly winding down and coming to an end. And there was therefore the Yontif of Sukkot continues with a special Yontif of Shmini Atzeres. Shmini Atzeres, as the Chazal, our sages tell us, it's Bani Shalom, the Almighty, just like it's difficult for us to bid farewell to the Yontif, it was difficult for the Almighty to bid farewell to celebrating all the days of Sukkot with all of his children. So he added another day, a Yontif of Shmini Atzeres. And the way it's expressed is, the Almighty said, Kosher olai predaschem. It's difficult for me to separate from you. The departing, that's something that's difficult to bear. So he added another day. It's also, it also can be translated as that it's difficult for the Almighty, predaschem, the separation, the dissensions, the differences between Yidden, between Jews, where there's sometimes lack of achdus and harmony. That's also difficult in the eyes of the Rabbi Shalom. Look for a day when we'll all live together as brothers and with Shalom. And there was a family, a mishpacha, that unfortunately were very, very far from Torah observance and observance of mitzvahs and reformed, assimilated, and they had a son who there was a spark was lit under him, and he began getting closer and closer to the observance of Torah mitzvahs, putting on tefillin, davening, eating kosher, and his parents, they looked at it very strange. They were not comfortable with it. They thought he was cultic or something. So between themselves, the father and the mother, they said, "What do we do with our steward? My goodness, look what's happening to him." So the husband said, he says, "Sally, our rabbi, our Reform rabbi, is a very wise man. We'll go ask him what to do, how to deal with this." So they went and he says to them, they told him the story. They're very concerned. Their son, his behavior pattern is so different from the way he grew up as in the house here. What should we do? So he said, "Oh, you better check his tefillin. See what's going with his tefillin." On Sukkot, there's each night is a special guest in the Sukkah. Ushpizin. Abraham was the first night, Isaac, Yitzchak the second, Yaakov the third, and so on. Each night was a different one of the Ushpizin. And that's only peculiar, that's only on Sukkot. It would seemingly, we would think that these wonderful guests, these very special, our ancestors, patriarchs, and all of them, that they should be welcomed not in the Sukkah, where we live in a not modest, a very inadequate kind of a dwelling. Say midiras kvadias arai. We go out of our regular, comfortable, luxurious dwelling, and we go into a Sukkah, four bare walls, and it cannot be covered. To bring the full insulation, it has to be covered only with something that grows from the ground. It can't be completely sealed in, closed covering. We should welcome them better in our dining room, in our living rooms, with beautiful linen and silver. So it seems that that's these special guests who are entirely so very, very saintly and spiritual, they can't be welcomed into a materialistic surrounding where we have such magnificent furnishings and such elaborate living quarters. They can only be welcomed into a sukkah where we leave behind all sorts of materialistic needs and materialistic desires and materialistic pursuits, to live only in a completely spiritual surrounding. Chalani ben Akash Omer, Rosa Kori Brokal Zakei says Yisrael, and Diko Kiblam, Torah Mitzvahs, Shinamar Adonai